Okay. Alright, what's up, folks? Today is August 28th, 2024. Yeah, I know. I need a shave. Anyway, it's been a long day. Kids are back in school, so that means parents also go to bed early. Well, I mean, you could go to bed early, or you keep going to bed late, but you got to get up early. So anyway, let's see. I'm going to keep this at 10 minutes. I'm not going over 10 minutes. We're going to do this in a multi-part series. And so the first thing I'm going to do today is kind of show you what we're going to be going over. This is essentially the calculator that I was talking about doing the other day, and I think I called it delete object something because I was going to delete this one, but instead I like it. Okay, so essentially what we have here is let's make sure I'm on the right session. Okay, so I put in my risk here, and I've got it as a numeric up and down, so I can make that I want to risk $200, and then the stop loss has to be put in, right? That's going to be a label, so, or at least I shouldn't be able to change that. I need to change that. That needs to be a label. I shouldn't be able to change that. Same with contracts to trade. It should be a label. Anyway, when I draw an object, so if I draw a box, it won't do anything, right? If I click on it, it won't do anything. If I press the shift key, let me go to the end down here. If I press the shift key and then click on the object, it won't do anything, right? But I have it set up to where when I draw the trend line, it will take the end price of the trend line, not the start price. It'll take the end price, not when I click on it, only when I first hit shift, and after I hit shift then I click on it, then it will give me my my amounts. So I made some adjustments prior to leaving out the house, and I probably didn't put the right numbers. Let's see, let's make another one. Okay, yeah, so essentially it's saying that if my risk is down here, if the current price is right here, then I can, why does it just say $9? It's not going past 9 o'clock. Then I can be into the ticker for 1.8 contracts, right? If my risk is a little bit higher in, my stop is a little bit higher in, then 31.8. Jesus, man, what are we doing? I'm going to have to go back and look at the calculations, but at least I finally got everything else right. Good gracious of light. What's going on here? Let's see. I'm wondering, is it because there's hardly no liquidity right now, but I don't think that would be the case. 24 hour. Okay. All right. So now I've got the current market activity. So let's see what it is. So if I put it at like $250, we're going to draw a trend line, say this is our stop loss, and then I hit the shift key, then hit that, so I can get from here to here would be a point about half a contract, right? So you really need to move down to micros. But I did set this up to where you can go into the micros, MESU24, and it will do the big point value, so it'll calculate the correct amount of contracts based on the the contract, the ticker that you're looking at. So I've been having issues with TradeStation's been acting funny the last couple of days here though, so I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, here we go. Alright, so now we're on the M, so we're on the micros. So now when we draw this same line, more or less, hit shift. Okay, now we can buy 11 contracts if our risk is $150. If our risk is, if we only want to risk, say, $100, then 0.16 is not right. So I have to go back and click on it. Yeah. So it was doing something funny a little bit earlier, and that's okay. I'll figure it out. But essentially, it looks like when it's in between ticks, it's giving me some arbitrary number. It's got something to do with the update value, because I could have it set to where I click on it and it gives me the right value, but I want it to update with every tick. I want it to update with every tick, and so I put in some programming to make it do that, and apparently that programming is a bit off. Let me open that up. Edit studies, edit EasyLanguage. Well, I said 10 minutes only, and we only have 3.5 minutes left. So, update. If risk range is greater than 0, then update risk level. Update risk level would be risk range is equal to last risk level times big point value over risk.text. I think that should be value. I think I changed this to being a numeric up down, so that should be a value and not. Where's my form at? Oh boy. Where's my form? Okay, well, I don't know how to pull up my form. From this, because I created this using a form. So we're here, and like I said, I created this using a form, but I've got to be able to pull the form up so I can update where all this stuff is. And once I close it out, I don't know how to get back to the form. It's not designer generated code. Tools, view. Project. No, that's not it. Windows. All right. Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make the correct modifications to this until I get to the form. Oh, this sucks. Because if I go to add form, it just makes a complete new form. Outlining properties. If we go to properties over here, chart host, Ah. What in the world, man? I'm striking out. I'm striking out these last couple of days. I'm really striking out. There's the designer generated code. So risk is this number here. It's a numeric up down. I'm taking the text. I feel like I should be taking the value. There's the text is 150. I feel like I should be taking the value since it is a numeric. Let's try it. Let's try it. Or risk that price or something. Yeah, risk that value. When it was a string, when it was a label, risk dot text was fine, but it is a value, so we're gonna go with that. We'll change it to 250. Come back over here. We're gonna click on this again. Oh, well, we gotta draw it new again since we added it. Okay, so we can go 27. So now when it changes, let's see if we get some crazy fluctuation here. Yeah, we did. We still got a crazy fluctuation. So, yeah, something's got to be modified there. But again, when there were a lot of ticks on the chart, I didn't have any issues. It was working just fine. But because there's hardly any ticks on the chart, it's having a funny time with updating and giving the right value. Risk range, risk value. Contracts to trade that text. Risk range. Risk range. Last. It must have something to do with the last. But I do have. Wait a minute. Yep, it's update entry bar. Okay. So instead of last, I'm gonna put close. Let's try close. So we're gonna move this to 200, and then we're gonna draw another line, and then we're gonna hit shift, and that says we should be able to get 48. Let's see it update. Yep, still did something funny. Alright, risk level. Risk level is the only other thing that I risk level. Risk level is not changing because it's an intrabar persists. The only other variable that could possibly change would be risk dot value, which is this value, which is not changing. So maybe I can just think about putting that into a putting this information here into its own variable. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play with it. Alright, so I'll just really quickly give you guys the general part, because I went over this a couple times, so this shouldn't be too bad to go over pretty quickly. I'm gonna call this delete. Okay, but I thought I had that one all set up though. Okay, using EL system. We're going to use the drawing objects using EL system.drawing and using EL system.drawing objects. So essentially what's going to happen is I don't even think I need it right now. I might not even need anything. Alright, so essentially what's going to happen is you're looking for objects to be drawn on the chart. When an object is drawn on the chart, you're going to take that object, you're going to assign it to a drawing object, and then you're going to, after it's assigned to a drawing, when the drawing object is added to the chart, you're going to take it and you're going to assign a method handler for the click event. Okay, so let's do that first. So if drawing object dot drawing object dot do. No, we're going to do a trend line. We're going to be using a trend line. So we're going to start with trend line. We're going to call it T line, and then null, because we're going to be assigning stuff to that. So I think we need drawing object as well. Drawing object do. Yeah, do is fine. Null. Okay, and so if we get a drawing object, do dot it's drawing objects dot added. So we've added a new drawing object to the chart. Now we got to figure out what the method handler is for that. So we just put dot added, and dot added, you visually search for drawing objects dot drawing objects draw objects added. You copy that because that's what you need. We're going to put assign object. It's going to be the name of the method event, the event handler, and then so we're going to have a method void assign object, and then we're going to put that what we found in parentheses over here. That's what goes in the input. So I think here we're doing the drawing object. So of class drawing object, and the name is going to be DO. You don't need to initialize it because it's in a method. So we take this. Okay, so when you get this new drawing object added, you're using args dot whatever object added to find out what it is. So args dot added object, see that? Args dot added object is going to become DO. The drawing object of class drawing object, it's an object. The object is DO, the class is drawing object. So this object is going to essentially copy what's here, args.added object. So this object here will be copied to this object. This object is of this class. Okay? Alright, now once we have this object copied, now we can take that object and we can do do dot, if we have a click event, so click, then how do you do a method handler for the click event? You do plus equals, and then we're looking for click. So over here we go to click, drawing objects, drawing object dot click. This is what you need in parentheses here for the input for the method handler, for the method. Okay, and so we're going to call this delete object. Okay, so now we have a method here, method void delete object. That begin, I think we need it again because now we got another drawing object, and we're going to take this object this time as the sender. Now this time we're going to assign or copy to another object. We're going to copy to another object so we can delete it. So this time the DO object is equal to not the args dot anything, because args dot anything doesn't come up with anything when you're in this click environment. Now it's the sender. Okay, so the sender, I think you just do sender as type drawing object is going to be equal, is going to be copied to DO. Now that you have copied, so when you actually click on something, whatever you click on, that sender that you clicked on is going to be assigned to a drawing object type, and it's going to be essentially copied, or it's going to be you're going to be referencing this object by this object. Confusing, I know, but now that you are handling, you're handling this object by way of this object, now you can say do dot, or you can actually do drawing objects dot delete, and then what are you going to delete? That drawing object. And you should be able to get away with that. You might have to delete it as type, but alright. No errors. Wow. Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised, because I've done this like 1,000 times. Delete, delete, delete. Okay. Click that. Alright. Now, pretty much anything we draw at this point in time. Got a couple rectangles. Got a couple trend lines. These old ones won't delete when we click them. Why? Because we did not capture them at all, because we're only capturing when a newly drawn object is added. So we can account for that, but we're not going to do it right now. But these over here, these were newly drawn. So if I click on that, it'll disappear. If I click on that, it'll disappear. If I click on that, it'll disappear. Now, if you want to put one filter in, you can say DO sender as type drawing object. You can say if DO is type trend line, then drawing object delete. Okay, so now that we've refreshed, we need to draw stuff over. So we got a box, a box, a box, trend line, trend line, trend line, and a circle or an ellipse. You click on the ellipse, nothing happens. Ellipse, nothing happens. Box, nothing happens. You click on the trend line, it deletes. Okay? Alright, so it works. And we knocked that out in less than 10 minutes, including the explanation. The only other thing that you would do is you would say once at the beginning of the chart, when you initialize the chart, you say once begin. You want to take everything that's been drawn on the chart and you want to add it to a vector. I'm kind of doing this from memory. I hadn't been reviewing this one. I didn't add this to my recent risk calculator, but we do want to have a vector, and we'll call it v objects started as null. Okay, and so once we're going to begin, we're going to say v objects equals new vector, and then I think we can copy everything that's in the drawing objects vector. Drawing objects everything that's so v objects vector will be equal to the drawing objects. The only thing about this is a collection of vectors, so we will need to be specific at this point, I do believe. Yeah, I think so. So we need to do trend lines or rectangles or ellipses. Oh no, wait a minute. There's an enumeration. We can do them all. Object category, all, 19. So drawing objects and dot items, and we'd say 19. I think we can just put the number. I think we can put the number. So we're going to assign everything that's in drawing objects. We're going to assign it all to v objects. Okay, and then once they're all assigned to v objects, then we're going to we'll do a method called capture or call click. And so this call click is going to be adding the click function to every single drawing object. So essentially method void click function. We're going to be using the index because we got to call within the count index is an integer index. We're going to begin And so for the vector number v objects dot count -1 down to 0 begin. What are we going to do? We're going to, oh, we need another drawing object to hold it. Drawing object do. We're going to assign do is going to hold the drawing object. Okay, it's going to hold drawing objects. So now we're going, no, we can just do the vector v objects. I mean, that's what we better be doing anyway, since we're talking about the index for vector. I spelled that wrong. V objects dot at, or v objects index. So whatever's in the index, we're going to assign it to do. Okay, and then we're going to take do again, and then we're going to allow do dot click to plus equal what? The delete object. Yep, delete the object. And you got to get your spelling right, or the computer doesn't like it. Okay, I think that'll work. Vector, since we're using a vector, we have to use the collection namespace. You can tell I'm worn out. I usually have a lot of energy. I'm worn out. V objects numeric variable expected. Really, for what? V objects dot count. Once v object equals new vector, v objects equals drawing objects dot items 19. Oh, good God. If v objects, I'm just doing this just to be on the safe side. If v objects dot count is greater than or equal to 1, which just says that we have something drawn on the chart, then call click. Wow, and I didn't even name it the right thing. Call click. Click function. Call click. Okay. That would have never worked. Okay, but I'm not sure what's going on with this though. Int index drawing object do begin for v objects dot count -1. I know I don't need that there. No. Okay. What's wrong with v objects dot count -1 down to 0? Begin that and that. Numeric variable expected. Well, oh, I'm sorry. I'm tripping. needs to be index. For index, Jesus, wow. All right, for index equals cannot assign object to drawing objects. As type drawing object then, player. Well, you need to do that whenever you're taking something out of a vector anyway. Whenever you're taking something out of a vector, you need to assign it as type. So, I mean, that's just our oversight. All right, good, it worked. So now the last time we did this, again, we had to draw. Once we did a verification and we updated the program, that we then had to draw the object, and then we could delete it with every click. It did not work on things that were already on the chart. Now, with that update, let's see if we can delete things that were already on the chart. And let's go. Nope. And nope. And nope. Alright, let's see about drawing new things on the chart. Click on that. Alright, so that's not even deleting now. So, where have we gone wrong? Alright, did we do something with the... So once begin new vector v objects drawing objects dot items of everything was added to v objects. Now the v objects, as long as the count is greater than or equal to 1, then we're going to call click. And so once we call click, we're going to have an index and drawing object to hold, and then we're going to take the we're going to start with for index equals v objects dot count minus 1 down to 0. We're going to I'm going to say if last bar on chart. Then once. Nah, still didn't like it. I think that's more appropriate though, but okay. Alright, continuing on. So for IDX equals vObjects dot count minus 1 down to 0, we're going to begin. We're going to assign what's in vObjects at the index as type drawing object goes to DO. Now DO is going to get the click event handler going to delete object, which is here. Delete object will have a drawing object hold, and it will get the sender, whatever was clicked, it'll get that sender as type drawing object to DO. If DO is type trend line. Okay, so we did it for only trend lines. That's why. Well, I thought I clicked on some trend lines too, but maybe not. So we'll do that. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's see if you got some room. Nope. Okay, so it's working for the newly drawn objects, still not working for our old friends. So anything that we draw new is working there, right? But the old stuff that's already on the chart, it's not working there. Drawing objects dot add, well, that's not relevant. We're looking for let's take that if last bar on chart back off. Okay, so once begin, new vector is going to take, it's going to be called vObjects. We're going to take all the drawing objects. Now this is the only thing that I don't know for sure, because I've never used the 19 enumeration for all objects. I've never used that before, so it might be that just doesn't work quite like I think it does, and happens all the time, right? So you might have an interpretation of the way that something works, but it doesn't actually work that way. So instead of that, let's use the enumeration for rectangles. So let's use 9 instead of using all. Let's use 9 and see if we get, yeah, see, it works, right? So it does work. It gets rid of the rectangles, doesn't get rid of the trend lines or the ellipses, but it does get rid of the rectangles. And you say, but Eric, well, how come all doesn't work? And I say, Mug, I don't know, because it should work. It says all, so it should capture ellipses and horizontal lines and rectangles and trend lines and text. It should capture everything, but clearly it works for one thing, but it doesn't work for everything. So I can click on the, well, it just worked for everything. Oh, because I got it back on 19. Alright, so for 19 it doesn't work, right? But if I verify it there on 9 works, okay? And if I want to capture ellipses, then I need to go to 18, 16, or 17. We're going to try 18. Now click on ellipse. Ellipse is gone, but I click on rectangles. Rectangles don't go. So can I say I think I could just add them all. I mean, I could add each one of them. I could add this one, because this is just a vector, so this can well, I'm making it equal. I'm thinking if I take this equal to this, I think I'm going to lose what was already in it. I don't think it'll add to the vector. But again, that enumeration should work. And there's nothing else that says all. And I'm pretty sure I have to put something. I don't think I can put nothing there. No. Drawing objects as type. Drawing object. Nah. I'm trying to be clever, but and doesn't like it. All right, well, that's all I got for you for tonight. For my particular indicator, I'm just planning on only using a trend line, so I hadn't even run into that problem. But I do want to find something that will do them all. So I've got to figure that out, why all isn't working. Drawing objects dot items dot I'm gonna try to add them. I'm gonna try to add them, see if it works. So I think we had what 18 was maybe the ellipse, and then I think 9 was the rectangle. So we're going to try doing just 2 separate lines and see, can you add them, you know, one after another. Okay, so I'm going to add a few rectangles, and I'm going to add a few ellipses, and then I'm going to turn the strategy off so it clears out the vectors, and I'm going to turn it back on so it adds the vectors back, and the rectangles are gone and the ellipses did not go. Okay, so it kept, so the rectangles were put in last, so it erased the ellipses and it kept the rectangle. The rectangles, like I said, I figured it would. The rectangles just kind of deleted and replaced the ellipses. So I can't think of another way to do it. $19 doesn't work. I said 10 minutes and I've been on for 50 minutes. Sad. Alright, I'm gonna get off here. Alright, I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.